Removing or changing a molded cord connector can violate a UL listing. UL listings are specific to the exact product configuration that has been tested and certified. This includes the cord and connector type, as they are considered critical safety components. Changing the cord type, for example, from SBT2 to SJT, affects its electrical and mechanical properties, which may impact its ability to withstand stress and prevent electrical hazards. The connector type, such as a molded plug or strain relief, provides protection and strain relief for the electrical conductors. Changing it may compromise the integrity of the electrical connection and expose it to damage or arcing. In some cases, UL allows specific substitutions of components with equivalent ratings in UL listings. However, this exception firstly requires specific written guidance from UL that allows the substitution, and secondly, applies only to UL-recognized components that are compatible with the original configuration. By removing or changing the molded cord connector without UL authorization, you are deviating from the original configuration that was tested and certified. This can void the UL listing for the product, rendering it potentially unsafe for use, create a potential electrical hazard that could lead to fires, shocks, or injuries, and negatively impact the performance and durability of the product. While wire nuts are not considered critical safety components, they do need to be UL listed for the intended use, such as wire gauge and insulation type. Using non-UL listed wire nuts can compromise the electrical connection and create a potential fire hazard. However, the use of UL listed wire nuts that meet the same specifications as those supplied with the fixture is generally not considered a violation of the UL listing. UL, or Underwriters Laboratories, is a globally recognized organization that provides safety testing and certification for a wide range of products. When a product receives a UL listing, it means that UL has tested and evaluated the product to ensure that it meets specific safety standards and requirements. These standards are designed to minimize the risk of hazards such as fire, electric shock, and injury. The UL listing mark on a product indicates that it has undergone rigorous testing and has been found to comply with the applicable safety standards. This provides assurance to consumers, manufacturers, and regulatory authorities that the product is safe to use as intended. UL listings are specific to the exact product configuration that has been tested and certified. This means that every aspect of the product, including its materials, design, and components, must conform to the UL standards. Any modifications or alterations to the product, such as removing or changing a molded cord connector, can potentially void the UL listing, as the modified product may no longer meet the original safety requirements. The cord and connector type are considered critical safety components in many electrical products. The cord provides the electrical connection between the product and the power source, while the connector ensures a secure and reliable connection. The cord type, such as SBT2 or SJT, refers to the construction and materials used in the cord. Different cord types have different electrical and mechanical properties, which affect their ability to withstand stress, temperature, and other environmental factors. For example, an SBT2 cord is typically used for light-duty applications, while an SJT cord is designed for heavy-duty use. Changing the cord type can affect the overall safety and performance of the product. The connector type, such as a molded plug or strain relief, is also important for safety. The connector provides a secure and reliable connection between the cord and the product, and it also provides strain relief to prevent the cord from being pulled or damaged. A molded plug is a type of connector that is permanently attached to the cord, providing a tamper-proof and secure connection. A strain relief is a device that supports the cord and prevents it from being pulled or strained, which can damage the electrical conductors inside the cord. Changing the connector type can compromise the integrity of the electrical connection and expose it to damage or arcing, which can create a fire hazard. UL allows specific substitutions of components with equivalent ratings in UL listings in some cases. This exception is intended to provide manufacturers with flexibility in their designs while still maintaining the safety and integrity of the product. However, this exception is subject to strict requirements. Firstly, specific written guidance from UL is required to authorize the substitution. This guidance will specify the acceptable substitute components and any necessary modifications to the product design. Secondly, the substitute components must be UL recognized and compatible with the original configuration. This means that the substitute components must have been tested and certified by UL to meet the same safety standards as the original components. When a molded core connector is removed or changed without UL authorization, the original configuration that was tested and certified is deviated from. This can have several negative consequences. Firstly, the UL listing for the product can be voided. This means that the product no longer meets the safety standards required by UL, and it may not be safe to use. Secondly, a potential electrical hazard can be created. This could lead to fires, shocks, or injuries if the product is used improperly or if it malfunctions. Thirdly, the performance and durability of the product can be negatively impacted. The modified product may not be able to withstand the same stresses and environmental factors as the original product, which could lead to premature failure. Wire nuts are not considered critical safety components in the same way as cords and connectors. However, they are still important for ensuring a safe and reliable electrical connection. Wire nuts are used to connect two or more wires together, and they must be UL listed for the intended use. This means that they must be able to withstand the electrical current and voltage of the circuit, and they must be able to provide a secure and reliable connection. Using non-UL listed wire nuts can compromise the electrical connection and create a potential fire hazard. However, the use of UL listed wire nuts that meet the same specifications as those supplied with the fixture is generally not considered a violation of the UL listing. This is because the wire nuts are being used to make a connection that is equivalent to the original connection, and they are not altering the basic safety characteristics of the product. In conclusion, removing or changing a molded cord connector can violate a UL listing because it deviates from the original configuration that was tested and certified. This can void the UL listing, create a potential electrical hazard, and negatively impact the performance and durability of the product. While UL allows specific substitutions of components with equivalent ratings and UL listings in some cases, this exception is subject to strict requirements. Wire nuts are not considered critical safety components in the same way as cords and connectors, but they must still be UL listed for the intended use. Using UL listed wire nuts that meet the same specifications as those supplied with the fixture is generally not considered a violation of the UL listing. When dealing with electrical products and components, it is important to always follow the manufacturer's instructions and to use only UL listed components that are appropriate for the intended application. This will help to ensure the safety and reliability of the product, and it will also help to avoid potential violations of UL listings and other safety standards. The process of obtaining a UL listing involves several steps. Firstly, the manufacturer submits the product to UL for testing and evaluation. UL engineers then conduct a thorough examination of the product to ensure that it meets the applicable safety standards. This may involve testing the product under various conditions, such as extreme temperatures, high voltages, and mechanical stress. If the product passes the testing, UL issues a listing report, which documents the results of the testing and confirms that the product meets the safety standards. The manufacturer can then use the UL listing mark on the product to indicate that it has been certified by UL. UL also conducts regular inspections of the manufacturer's facilities to ensure that the product continues to be manufactured in accordance with the UL standards. These inspections help to maintain the integrity of the UL listing and to ensure that the product remains safe over time. There are different types of UL listings, depending on the type of product and the applicable safety standards. Some common types of UL listings include UL listed, UL recognized, and UL classified. A UL listed product is one that has been tested and certified by UL to meet specific safety standards. A UL recognized component is a component that has been evaluated by UL for use in a complete product. A UL classified product is one that has been tested by UL for specific properties or characteristics. The specific type of UL listing that is required for a product depends on its intended use and the applicable regulatory requirements. In addition to UL, There are other organizations that provide safety testing and certification services. These organizations include CSA, ETL, and Intertic. Each of these organizations has its own set of safety standards and requirements, and manufacturers may choose to have their products certified by one or more of these organizations. The decision of which organization to use depends on various factors, such as the target market for the product and the specific regulatory requirements that apply. It is important to note that safety testing and certification is an ongoing process. Manufacturers must continue to monitor their products and to ensure that they meet the applicable safety standards over time. This may involve making changes to the product design or manufacturing process, or it may involve conducting additional testing to verify that the product continues to meet the safety standards. By maintaining a commitment to safety, manufacturers can help to ensure that their products are safe for consumers to use and that they comply with all applicable regulatory requirements. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a widely adopted set of standards for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it contains detailed requirements for various aspects of electrical installations, such as wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. The NEC is not a law itself, but it is often adopted by state and local governments as part of their building codes. This means that electrical installations must comply with the NEC in order to be approved by the local authorities. The NEC contains specific requirements for the installation of cords and connectors. For example, the NEC specifies the types of cords that are permitted for use in different applications, and it also specifies the requirements for strain relief and overcurrent protection. The NEC also contains requirements for the installation of wire nets and other types of electrical connectors. These requirements are designed to ensure that the electrical connections are safe and reliable and that they comply with all applicable safety standards. Compliance with the NEC is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical installations. Electrical contractors and installers must be familiar with the NEC requirements and must follow them carefully when installing electrical wiring and equipment. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and regulations that apply to electrical products and installations. These include standards issued by organizations such as ANSI, IEEE, and NEMA, as well as regulations issued by government agencies such as OSHA and the EPA. It is important for manufacturers and installers to be aware of all of the applicable standards and regulations and to ensure that their products and installations comply with these requirements. Electrical safety is a critical concern, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent electrical hazards. This includes using only UL-listed components, following the manufacturer's instructions, and complying with all applicable safety standards and regulations. By taking these steps, it is possible to minimize the risk of electrical fires, shocks, and injuries and to ensure the safety of people and property. In summary, modifying a molded cord connector can violate a UL listing because it deviates from the original configuration that was tested and certified. This can void the UL listing, create a potential electrical hazard, and negatively impact the performance and durability of the product. While UL allows specific substitutions of components with equivalent ratings and UL listings in some cases, this exception is subject to strict requirement. Wire nets are not considered critical safety components in the same way as cords and connectors, but they must still be UL listed for the intended use. Using UL-listed wire nuts that meet the same specifications as those supplied with the fixture is generally not considered a violation of the UL listing. It is important to always follow the manufacturer's instructions and to use only UL-listed components that are appropriate for the intended application. This will help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical products and installations. UL listing is a crucial aspect of electrical safety, ensuring products meet specific standards. Modifying components like molded cord connectors can violate this listing. Cords and connectors are critical for electrical and mechanical safety. Altering cord types or connectors can compromise safety. UL may allow substitutions with specific written guidance. Unauthorized modifications can void the UL listing and create hazards. Wire nuts, though not as critical, must still be UL listed. Compliance with safety standards and regulations is essential. The NEC provides guidelines for safe electrical installations. UL certification involves rigorous testing and ongoing inspections. Different types of UL listings exist, such as UL listed, recognized, and classified. Other organizations besides UL offer safety certification. Safety testing is an ongoing commitment for manufacturers. Compliance with the NEC is vital for electrical safety. Various standards and regulations apply to electrical products. Taking precautions is crucial to prevent electrical hazards. Always use UL-listed components and follow instructions. The integrity of electrical products relies on adhering to safety standards.